Marv, you're a beast.
What?
You're a beast.
What's going on, family? It's Marv, OneRepAtATime.net with a brand new exercise tutorial. Today we're going to cover the Zercher Squat. Now, with all of our tutorial videos, I highly encourage you to watch it at least once, if not twice. I'm going to give you the proper setup, coaching points, mental cues, tips, tricks, all of that good stuff. And then until you feel competent and confident doing it on your own, do your first few warm-up or working sets with me in your ear, so to speak. I'm going to do it with you. I'm going to coach you through it step by step. Now, this is the second video we've done on the Zercher Squat. This kind of goes to show how much I love this often forgotten old strongman, powerlifter, I guess bodybuilding exercise. So I'm going to include the link down below going over its benefits and the differences between this and a traditional back squat or even a front squat. But today's just a tutorial. Now, the Zercher Squat, for those of you who don't know, is you're squatting, but the bar's in front of you and it's on the crook of your elbow. So I am going to give you some tips and tricks to kind of ease the pain. But let's talk about the angle of your pelvis. Now, when it came to fitness, right, there's this big thing of doing this anterior pelvic tilt. So see how my low back's really arched? This is great for strongmen and powerlifters, right, for generating a lot of force. But for the average person, this does put a little bit of strain on the low back. Why I like the Zercher Squat is because of the bars here and your core is having to fire, you will almost naturally, but I'm also going to cue you to do a posterior pelvic tilt. So see how I'm tilted backwards? I'm going to tuck my tailbone in. It's like I'm stacking everything. One on top of my hips or directly over my shoulders, directly over my neck. So my spine, is not as arched. It's tucked below. And you'll feel your lower abs contract, which is fantastic. And that's what we're going for. So I always cue people, okay, we're in that kind of arched position. Now we're going to tuck the tailbone and then we squat. And you're going to watch how, more efficient the squat's going to be, as far as dropping straight down into the hole. Now, because it is a squat, all the other coaching points and tips remain the same. Most people like just outside of shoulder width. Some people are going to have to go wider. Some people are really going to have to keep their toes pointed out. Some people could go rather straightforward. It is going to be very independent based on how essentially your hips are created, the length of your bones, all of that good stuff. So you're going to have to play around with that. But once you find your proper squat setup as far as the width and the angle of your feet, it's going to be the same whether you're doing a back squat, front squat, or a Zercher squat. Now, a couple other things is before I hop on the bar, just to show you, because it is a squat, right, I want you to take a big gulp of air in, brace your core, hunker down, squat down. You're going to drive up through your heels, right? In the bottom position, I want even pressure across our whole foot. But when you come up, drive up through your heels, and then picture spreading the floor with your feet. Your feet will not move, but that outward force is going to get a hell of a lot of activation, specifically of your glute med and your external rotators in your hip, which is going to make you a hell of a lot stronger. But it's also going to make it more challenging. And I know that seems like confusing, stronger yet challenging. Give it a couple tries. A lot of people don't know that coaching point because then your knees could cave in, you're keeping a nice strong base, and you will get a hell of a lot more activation and results. Now, I have, with all of our squat tutorials, I walk out of the cage forward, I squat, and I walk backwards to re-rack it. In the real world, when you're doing it, I want it to be the opposite. So in the real world, you have wherever you're going to squat, you come out, you walk backwards, you do your squat, you walk forward to rack it. I don't like walking backwards to rack anything. When it comes to elbow pain, let's be real. 1-inch bars really dig deep, so I highly encourage you to use a barbell pad or a towel, but a barbell pad works better. Here is a hack that we've put on our website. I'll include that link down below, but here's everything you need to know. This is a $2 pool noodle that I slice down the middle. Boom, that is our barbell pad that we use here. It works wherever. If your gym doesn't have a barbell pad, you could bring your own. I also would encourage you, if you're not using a barbell pad, to at least wear some sort of clothing that's going to cover your elbows. When you do bare exposed elbows, it's kind of where you get these two red lines and it kind of digs in. So even though it's not much, it does lessen some of the friction, right? Because the last thing we want is, oh my goodness, my elbows are so much pain and I can't focus on the squat. So normally I do this. I'm going to skip the barbell pad for today. Now when we come up to the bar, If our hands are clasped together, you're going to be a little bit stronger. If your hands are apart, it's a little bit more challenging for your biceps because they have to stabilize. Regardless, your biceps are going to get work, but most people will notice they're a little bit stronger when they do this, but I do like the hands separated just for a different type of stressor. Now we're going to come up to the bar, make sure nice and even. We're going to walk out. Now, I'm going to do hands apart for this first one. Now, right here, I'm in my normal squat stance, and then I'm going to tuck my tailbone in. Big gulp down, drop down, drive up, spread the floor. So again, what I'm doing is as I drop down, there's even pressure on my foot, and when I come up, I drive up, and I picture spreading the floor with my feet. Now, when you're warming up, I actually personally like to do a pause in the bottom. Depending if you're a client or not, might actually have you pause in the bottom, which makes it a hell of a lot more challenging. But again, so right now my pelvis is tilted out. It normally is when I squat. I tuck it under a little bit. Good, it's in line. I feel my lower abs contract. Big breath in, squat down, drive up, spread the floor. And if you notice, my breathing is big gulp in. I like to eat the air is what I'm thinking of. Brace myself, drop down, come up, exhale once I'm up. Now, with this, obviously the weight is going to want to fold you over. So make sure your chest is staying upright. We don't want it to start curling you over. And that's really all it comes to in the Zercher Squat. It is sneaky effective at total body strength. All right, family, let's do that first few warm-up and working sets together. Now, I did fail to mention, let me do a quick discussion. Whenever you squat, I don't want it to be, leaning over and unwrapping the weight, with your low back. So take a little bit of squatted position up, and then you're gonna walk wherever you're gonna go. Remember, I'm the opposite of you. I'm walking towards you just so you can see more of what's going on. You're gonna unwrap the weight, walk back, squat, walk forward, wrap the weight. So this time I'm gonna put hands together just to show you that variation. So I take a little squat down, clasp my hands together, big breath in, just like if you're gonna squat, every time you rack it, I want, whenever you're moving, I want there to be air in your midsection to brace your core and your spine. Come up, good. Now, take whatever stance you do for your normal squat, you're gonna tuck that pelvis under, so it should be like stacked on top of each other. Big gulp in, down, drive up, spread the floor. Big gulp in, brace your core, drop down, even foot pressure, drive up to the heels, spread the floor. Down, drive up, spread the floor. Down, drive up, spread the floor. Keep that pelvis tucked underneath you. Big gulp in. Down, drive up, spread the floor. Down, even foot pressure, drive up, heels, spread the floor. Gulp in. Drop down, drive up, spread the floor. Don't let that weight fold you over. Keep that sternum up nice and tall. Drop down, drive up, spread the floor. Two more. Big gulp in, pelvis tuck. Down, drive up, spread the floor. Last one, don't let that weight fold you. Drive up, spread the floor. And that, family, is how you Zercher squat, one rep at a time.